Today, we're going to talk about the media and Hillary Clinton. Specifically, we're going to show how the U.S. political press propagated a distorted view of Clinton to the public through negatively biased media coverage and misleading or false narratives. This is the second part of a four-part series of videos available at the link below. Part 2. The negative media narrative on Hillary Clinton. Let's look at two studies of media coverage of candidates. The first was an analysis of hundreds of thousands of news stories by Crimson Hexagon. The results were reported by Jeff Stein at Vox. The findings may come as a surprise to some people. Compared to other candidates, Clinton not only received the most negative media coverage, but she also got the least positive coverage as well. The second study was actually a survey which was conducted by Politico. They asked over 80 campaign reporters a number of questions. Among the questions, which candidate was treated most kindly or favorably by the media? The answer, according to a plurality of reporters, Donald Trump. In fact, reporters picked Trump over Clinton by 28 percentage points. In contrast, almost half of the reporters said Clinton was treated most harshly by the press, much more so than Trump by 34 percentage points. So a natural question is, why has Clinton received such negative media coverage? Is it because media coverage is determined by a candidate's honesty? Well, again, let's look at the data. PolitiFact is a nonpartisan, independent site that fact-checks political candidates. This tweet and the accompanying chart shows PolitiFact's ratings of dozens of statements made by the top Democratic and Republican candidates. Notice that almost 8 in 10 statements by Trump were found to be mostly false or worse. In contrast, Clinton's record shows she had the lowest percentage of statements considered mostly false or worse. Also, clear from this data, Clinton and Sanders as well had over 50% of statements rated mostly true or better. As for Trump, less than 1 in 10 statements have been found to be mostly true or better. It's not just PolitiFact. The Washington Post does routine fact checks of candidates. They also assign ratings using Pinocchios. Their worst rating is 4 Pinocchios, which is reserved for statements they rate as egregiously false. Glenn Kessler of the Washington Post observed that 70% of Trump's claims earned 4 Pinocchios, an unprecedented number. In fact, most of Trump's other claims earned 3 Pinocchios. In contrast, Kessler points out that most politicians only earn 4 Pinocchios 10 to 20% of the time. Many other media outlets have pointed out how often Trump makes false statements. As an example, Huffington Post fact-checked Trump as he spoke for 1 hour and found 71 false statements. Clearly, Clinton has been rated far more honest in comparison based on PolitiFact data. And yet, another recent study showed that Trump garners more positive news coverage than Clinton. So we're back to our original question. Why is Clinton subject to so much negative media coverage? Could it be that there is a wide-ranging bias against her in media coverage? It's easy to dismiss that as partisan griping, but the history of media coverage of Clinton tells a different story. Don't just take our word for it. A significant number of reporters and journalists have stated publicly that Clinton gets unfair negative media coverage.